Hi, and thanks for watching this video about Value Line's Library Research Center, which is the top tier of our three digital services, the other two being Library Basic and Library Elite. You can see that I've already marked up the screen a little bit. And before I get into that, let me give a quick summary of Value Line and those other two services so that you'll see why the Research Center is different or has more. So Value Line's been around since 1931. Our flagship product is the Value Line Investment Survey. Many libraries have subscribed to that throughout the years. So some of the listeners might be familiar with the green binders and getting those weekly mailings from us. There's 3 items in there. There's the Value Line Investment Survey, VLIS, current issue. There's the summary and the index, and the selection and opinion. It says current issue because the investment survey is actually made up of 1,700 companies that we follow. These 1,700 companies make up about 90% of those companies that are actively traded on any average regular given day. And we issue 4 reports about each of those companies a year so that each week we give you the current reports. So that digital equivalent is Library Basic. So Library Basic is subscribing to the Value Line Investment Survey and getting that current issue and the summary and index and the selection and opinion each week. And those I've marked in red. Another survey that's popular people subscribe to is the small and mid-cap survey, this SMC right here. Small and mid-cap are companies that are under $5 billion, $5 billion or less. It's another 1,700 companies we track. The Value Line Investment Survey has all different size companies. It just depends if the company deserves to be in the survey. And then the small and mid-cap are under $5 billion. That digital product is Library Elite. So if you subscribe to Library Elite, you get the Value Line Investment Survey and the small and mid-cap. The Library Research Center is Elite plus the items I've marked with blue. The Option Survey, Fund Advisor Plus, Special Situations, New ETF Service, and Climate Change. So I'm going to go into those and show you what each of those are. Special Situations and Climate Change are actually recommendation services. Right before I do that, let me point out this box in red on the top. We are on the dashboard right now. This is the page that library patrons see as soon as they log in. And if they have a company in mind, and many times they do, they can just type that company name or symbol right here and then hit return or hit quote. And up comes the digital report and the ability to bring up the traditional report that we put out, the types that you find here in the current issue. And I will show you how to do that at the end of this presentation. But for now, let's go into the asset classes of the Library Research Center. The first one I'm going to do is special situations. So this is a recommendation service. We recommend 2 stocks a month, one for aggressive investors, meaning investors looking to make money quickly, and conservative investors, and those are investors who are willing to put a stock in their portfolio and then wait and watch and strike when the time is right. So these are the 2 for this month, Pure Cycle Corporation and Schrodinger, but there's also the report itself, special situations. I'm going to click on that. And here it is, it's a PDF. You can go and read it online. You can print it out. You can print out the pages you like. This is a nice little hidden gem inside of it. We have portfolios or lists of the type of stocks for aggressive. So these are companies we think might do well in the short term, and conservative. So this is a great launching point. This is a great place to get ideas. Print this page out, start from here, see what's interesting to you, or go down, see why the portfolio changed since the last month, meaning that the companies in that portfolio, some might have dropped, some might have been added, and then more information about each company in this week's report, the Schrodinger, and I'll go down, and Pure Cycle. So that is one of the recommendation services in the Research Center right here, special situations. The other one is climate change here. Again, a monthly report, again, a PDF, and again, you can read about it or go straight to the portfolio. And these are companies that that will benefit somehow because of climate change. Maybe they're trying to help, or maybe they're just a company that people need, but for one reason or another, these companies we think will do well because of climate change. So again, you can just print that page out, put that with the page from the special situations, and if you're an investor is looking for 2 or 3 companies, you've got a great place to start right there. So that's the special situations and the climate change. Then there's the option survey, Fund Advisor Plus, and the new ETF service. I'm going to go to Fund Advisor Plus because that's mutual funds. A lot of people can understand mutual funds. I want to show you what this is. It's also actually one of our other print products. We have been putting out this survey monthly of mutual funds, what we recommend for a very long time. Many libraries subscribe to the print version, but you can get it here digitally. Just to remind people what a mutual fund is, it's a grouping or a basket of stocks that have something in common. Maybe they're all energy stocks or domestic or international or tech, and they call it a basket of stocks, and people buy shares to cover all those stocks, cover overall all those stocks. At the end of the day, at the close of business, if the value of all those stocks is higher than it was at the beginning of the day, you've made money. If the value of all those stocks together are lower than it was at the beginning of the day, you've lost money. So that's a mutual fund. And we recommend funds because we track over 20,000 funds here. But the other thing that's interesting about the Research Center and Fund Advisor Plus is this screener, which is just like any kind of filter you'll find on any kind of website anywhere. If you buy something on the web, you want to see if it got a certain number of stars. You want to see its size. You want to see if it's available. Here, this is our filter system, but we're using proprietary ranks. In Value Line, 1 is good, 5 is bad. So if I just very quickly say, I just want the funds that Value Line gives a 1 and a 2 to, I get 4,100 that we like. Then I could start to add these fields. The first one is a load. A load is a fee. I don't want anything that's got a load. I'm down to 3,300 funds, still a high number. Maybe, because I mentioned before that they always have something in common. You want to see the description. Maybe we'll go to large cap growth funds. And now we're down to 597, still a little high. Expense ratio, that's the fees they charge. This is acceptable. This is they're running something here, but you still want to pay less than 1% if you can. So now we're down to 238, and now you can play with, well, how well is it doing in the year to date? So let's say we want something that's done better than 20% year to date, 112. Then let's say in the last 3 years, let's say we want an average of 30%, 0. That's okay because a little high, huh? So let's go up here and scroll down and change that 30 to 20. Now we have 62, so that's a lot. So we'll play with this, 25. 9, that's a nice number. So we have 9 funds that are large cap. Let me just run the screen. I click this button right here. These are all large cap. I could sort if I wanted to. I'm going to sort by rank. Oh, these all get 1. That's nice. And I can go ahead and I can print this list. So in fact, I just made my own portfolio, just like you had seen in climate change and special situations. And it's a great launching off point to get an idea. And if these are all large cap growth, so you can go back if you want. I'm going to click edit criteria. You've printed this list. I'm going to change large cap to small cap growth. Same thing. I mean, small cap growth. I can say in growth. Apply 2. That's only 2. But again, run the screen. Here they are. I can go ahead and I can print them. So you're getting an idea now of how to use the Fund Advisor. Also, you can go to look up fund right here. If you have an actual fund in mind, then you can look that up. This is something you can't do in the back in the dashboard. You can't do that. Let's go back to the dashboard for a second here. And you can't look up funds here. You have to have Fund Advisor to look it up. Let's go to the new ETF service. ETFs are like mutual funds, except that you can trade them throughout the day. So you can buy an ETF at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. You can sell at 1 in the afternoon. Same thing. Look at the ones we like. Maybe head on down to anything you want, like something that's done well in the last 3 months. So let's say something that's done well, because remember, these are more actively traded, and we can go to keep hitting that number. We got the 2 ETFs that we like that have done fairly well in the last 3 months. So that's the Library Research Center quickly. Those are the options. Remember, if you have Library Basic, you have all 3 services: Basic, Leader, Research Center. You get the Value Line Investment Survey, Summary Index, Selection and Opinion. If you have Elite, you get those 3 plus the small and mid cap. And if you have the Research Center, you get all of that plus these asset classes. Now, I had mentioned to you how to look up a company. So Apple is a popular one. A lot of people like to have Apple in their portfolio. So I'm going to go and I just type the symbol and I'm going to click it. And here's the digital report. The timeliness here, that's our ranking. That's a Value Line proprietary ranking. At 1 is good, 5 is bad. So it's a good time to buy it. Safety is we have a lot of faith in this company. The last price as of 15 minutes ago of this recording, $143. We think it can go to $257. You can also go down in this digital report and see lots of other information. But for now, I'm just going to stick to the last 4 traditional Value Line reports. I mentioned earlier that each company in the investment survey gets 4 reports put out about it a year. So these are Apple's last 4 reports. And what's really nice about this is if you want to see if the analyst was right back in June or March, all you have to do is click on one. I'll click June 25th, and this is that traditional report from back in June. That is the highlights of the Library Research Center, a quick description of the other 2 services and how to bring up a traditional report. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you, and let us know if you have any questions.